All right, guys. We finally made it, Artie.
Made it.
We've been practicing, we've been talking about it. Our brokers have been asking, and it's officially live today. The Loan Lounge. Welcome to the Loan Lounge, right, Artie?
That's right. Welcome everyone to the Lone Lounge
The
with
Loan Lounge.
Carlitos and Artie.
Yeah, we're trying to help educate all our brokers, lender partners on do's and don'ts, tips and tricks, what we see in the market, market feedback, best practices, best way to get your loan through from pre-qual to submission to underwriting and closing. And kind of the idea came about of this event was to kind of, you know, try to reach as many people as we could in different markets, and a lot of them, no matter the market, they typically have the same questions and the same concerns. And how difficult are these loans? And what's your turn time? And who's luxury? That's a question I get, right? Because I'm new here. So we wanted to kind of have a format that was more conversational, kind of like a webinar, not a webinar, one of those podcast types that we can just chat, take your questions live. I know some people are shy, but don't be shy. We're gonna we're gonna definitely make it worth your while. So if you guys have a question, I believe Superstar Jennifer's in the back there. She's gonna go ahead and let you in so we can address any concern or any question you have. We'll take anything live. I got people telling me that they're gonna start texting me scenarios on my phone, so I have my phone handy in case I get those texts. And so yeah, welcome to the Loan Lounge, Artie. Your turn.
That's right. Yeah, we're excited. Just like Carlitos said, we wanted to make sure we reach out to, loan officers maybe that have a lot of experience with non-QM, but we also want to reach out to maybe some of those that are new to non-QM, and maybe there's some that never tried non-QM. So we want to make sure we cover everyone. We want to show you guys what we do here, how we do it. Carlitos and I both have, a lot of experience doing non-QM. So we are more than happy to help you guys grow your business. Non-QM right now is very important, especially as the market has changed. So we have loan officers more than ever that, they're looking to learn. And that's the purpose of this thing. We want to make sure you guys get comfortable with non-QM, understand how it works, from beginning to end, help the bar get in the home, put a little money in your pocket at the same time. And you know what? Impress some of your realtors.
Artie, question for you. We always get this question, and I'm gonna throw it to you first. Uh, how'd you get started in the business, man?
So
How'd you get into this, space that we're in that we love so much?
So it's crazy because I was working out of school. I started on a firm called Solomon Smith Barney, working for an investment firm. And there was a coworker of mine who left the firm to go work for a mortgage company called Greenpoint Mortgage. And she says, Artie, oh my God, the salaries are even double than what they're paying us here. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. She's like, no, I'm serious. So she wasn't lying. You know what? I made the jump. I got the job at Greenpoint, and that's how I learned about all these different products. And then I became an assistant to an AE, and then I started seeing, how well these AEs are doing, and I like that stuff. I was like, wow, this is a nice hustle. I really, I think I could do this. So then from there, the same group of people left from there from Greenpoint and went to work for a company called Argent.
Oh,
Um,
yep.
at the time, they were AmeriQuest, and then they turned the wholesale to Argent. So from there is where I've learned everything else with the non-QM, and got to work with some top notch AEs and learn the business. And then I was hooked after that. So I've been doing this that long.
Do you see? I mean, I know we talk about it all the time, and I know a lot of our brokers always. We've seen the shift from back in the day when the non QM space was a little bit of a kind of like a bad word in a way. Subprime is subprime. Like this is not subprime, guys. You know. So I think did you experience some of that? Because I felt I had some of that pushback from our brokers initially. Uh, which I love to remind my brokers now. I'm like, remember when you wouldn't even uh, let me visit your office because you thought these loans were this and that and the other, and now look at you. Now look at all these loans are closing. Did you get some of that kind of pushback
Uh,
from them?
yes, you know what? I myself experienced that personally. So when I got the phone call, because when everything happened, I went to go work retail for JP Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo. And I did that for about 8 years. And then I get a phone call to that there's an opening here in Florida, for Angel Oak. and they sent me the product list. And at first, I felt the same way. I was like, oh boy, here we go again. So it's so funny that even I had to take a step back, study the programs, understand how it works now. And you're 100% right. So now you don't just need a heartbeat, you need a FICO score. We don't do 100% financing, right?
We
It goes
don't? Wait,
based,
wait.
we
I
go
thought we did that here in luxury. Wait, wait, wait. That's not what Nick told me. Nick, by the way, Nick, his new nickname is the architect. Okay. I call him the architect. He's like a Jerry Krause of the Bulls putting that championship team together. So the
yes.
architect told me we could do 100% financing. So we're not. We can't. All right, Nick,
We
I'm gonna
don't do
have to talk to you
100%
later.
financing. We ask for reserves. We have to show an ability to repay. We actually ask for more items than even FHA loans, to be honest with you. Our down payments are as little as 10%. So once I understood how the non-QM sector was working and the requirements, I said, no, you know what? I see what's going on here. These are good loans. These are make sense loans, and we're helping good people. Working at the bank is where I realized more than ever how much we need non-QM, because here I was, the mortgage banker, declining my best customers, my
Gotcha.
self-employed customers, because they write everything off on their tax returns. So I really saw the void that can be filled with these products. So I appreciated them even more. So now I just kind of got up from that seat where I was retail banking, and now I'm the AE here helping retail loan officers, helping these type of customers. So yeah, it's been a great experience and a good feeling.
Yeah, I really like the the feeling that you get with your broker, that some people think, well, this person is self-employed and they're making all this money and they got everything. Well, no, these borrowers who are great borrowers, right, were kind of, I don't want to say shunned, but they were kind of left out, right, from the home ownership opportunity.
Yes.
And I think for many, many years, they resorted to doing privates um and just having to do so many things that maybe wasn't
Hard
in their
money.
best interest. Yeah, just to acquire their home. And now I honestly, it's when we talk to brokers now, it's we're bringing them a solution, and that's kind of the way I always present it to all my brokers and anybody listening. And when we do presentations, right, we always talk about the opportunity to yeah, you're closing a loan and whatever, but it's not really that. I mean, we're putting somebody, the home ownership, man, home ownership is incredible, and
Absolutely.
no matter how much you think that person has, their stuff together and their business together and stuff, sometimes we just need that little push, so and especially like our bank statement program. I don't know, maybe that'll kick us off into our products. you know um I've, as a lot of you know, or some of you don't know, I'm a little newer to luxury. I was somewhere else for about 10 years, and I made the jump to luxury. And everybody asks, how come? Must have been something, dynamic. And so, and it is. I think it's something, for me, it's been uh, eye-opening. The change with luxury and with this team, and meeting the team and meeting the guys and meeting the gals. And I really, really have to say, and that eventually shows in our performance and how well we work with our brokers. Because when you like your team, and we go to battle with our team every day, right? And for our brokers out there that are listening, this is a family business. We almost talk to each other more than we talk to our families sometimes, right? During the week, it's like, they don't see us that much, so it's always, we take this loan so seriously, right? This isn't just another closing or a commission, man. This is life changing. This is generational for people. So I really just saw the opportunity, thanks to you, thanks to the architect, and I fell in love with the team right away, and the vision and the programs, and having amazing pricing and rates doesn't hurt, right, Artie? Would you say that's
It helps a lot. It helps a lot. And listen,
okay?
to piggyback on what you're saying, you coming and you're being new to the team. You close your first loan in how many days?
Yeah, pretty fast.
What
Yeah,
was
my
it?
broker.
15 days? 15
Yeah,
days?
yeah,
Beginning
yeah,
to end.
yeah. The broker was like, "Whoa, wait a minute." Good broker of mine that was a little unsure at first, and I'm gonna send this to them to remind them that, and now they're like, "Oh my God, okay, okay, I'll never doubt you again." So they love Jill and Rosie, and that, oh my God, I love Rosie, and that's kind of what I always say. It's more than a loan. Everybody's looking out for you. Everybody's looking out for your relationship, and we want to make you guys, our loan officers, look like rock stars in front of your agents, your realtors who are referring you these loans, right? You're doing non-QM, but you're doing conventional FHA. You want to do all the loans. So sometimes a lot of agents are like, oh man, this is a tougher loan, and they may not trust you. And again, I really say, kind of a little self-serving for you and I, Artie. I always tell all my LOs, just be careful who you're working with, right? Back when we started, there were what, 3 or 4 non-QM lenders, right? Now there's 300. So my question is always, hey, everybody's coming out. Well, we're the newest, we're the greatest, we're the best. I get it. Ask a few questions. How long has that account executive been in the business? Right? That's important. That's so important because you're trusting that customer, that account executive with your relationship with the realtor, your commission, your livelihood. Man, and I always say, dig a little deeper. Don't just say, oh yeah, it's bells and the new bells and whistles, the new, the new whatever, pretty girl to dance. Um, it always helps to have a great relationship with Artie, who is so experienced, who has an amazing team. We have an amazing team behind us, Artie. So what is that?
I
What do
love
you
this
think?
team. I like to tell the LOs all that. You know what? Here with our team, we're going to tell you what you need to know, not what what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, because we're very
I like
honest.
that.
We're
I
upfront.
like that.
When we do our pre-calls, and we don't want to waste your time and waste anybody's time. Like you said, we want to make you look like a rock star. But yeah, it is the key. Experience always helps. We've been doing this for a while, so we know what to look for, how to pre-call the loan correctly. And you mentioned the rest of our team members, Jill and Rosie. Absolutely. And I always like to sell the team, because I tell the loan officers, hey, I'm not doing this, right? We don't do this by ourselves. We
Never.
have a lot going on. They support us with everything and they love them. And it's great. I often laugh because I'm sure, have you gotten this feedback yet about Jill's accent? They love her
Yes,
accent.
they love it.
So, but yeah, guys, we have a team here for you. And I like for you guys to look at us as an extended version of your team. So you're not alone here. You have us, and then you have the rest of the team, and then there's the underwriter. So there's always like 4 people here ready to help you get that loan going from beginning to end.
Right. And Jackie, do
So
we count Jackie and Nick? Or
absolutely,
all right. I
absolutely,
just wanna make sure they get their due. You know what I mean? So they don't say
yes,
we're ignoring them. Jackie, Nick, architect, thank you.
yep. Jackie runs ops. Something special about Jackie is that she was basically promoted within. So she knows the system. She's also done a lot of great things for us with our submissions, making it easier to submit a loan with us. And it's wonderful. I love her energy. No matter how difficult a situation is, her energy is the same. Always positive,
Yeah,
never negative.
agreed.
So she is the driving force of the culture, of the ops team. So it's always a pleasure to work with her, no matter how difficult a situation can be. So
Does that count for 2 free rush requests from Jackie? Do you think that'll?
you got me.
What do
I
you
just
think?
I just sent I just sent one.
Jackie, if you're listening, it was me that said it. Artie, so let's talk real quick, man, about I think our number one program. People always ask what our sweet spot is, right? What do we see the most in the market? How do we help customers? Our customers, our brokers, close the most loans. Um, and I usually start with the bank statement loan, right? Like like self-employed customers that, like I said, have been kind of left out now have the ability to participate. You know what I mean? So I know, like I said, I'm going to lean on you a little bit more on for the program part of aspect of it. What do you think are the kind of the best or the key takeaways of our bank statement program? What kind of sets us apart? And those little tricks that you're like, I didn't know that. Maybe that's gonna help my loan get through faster. What would you say?
So first of all, I want to make sure every loan officer understands that the bank statement loan does not require tax returns. We go based
Important.
off the most current 12 and 24 months. One of our things that we stand out a lot is that we allow multiple businesses to qualify the borrower. Another thing that we allow that's crazy here is that we will consider someone who's been self-employed only for a year.
That's
Most
amazing.
places,
It's true.
most places want 2 years. Another thing that I love here, we will actually allow a non-occupant co-borrower also to qualify. And I know some people
By the
say,
way,
"What?"
that's mind blowing. I know I learned that from you. I mean, if
Yes,
you guys, if you're listening, that's very important.
yep,
Non-occupant co-borrowers on the non-QM side is unheard of, and we do it here, Artie. I mean, wow, that's
yep.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can share with you guys a story in a file that I had to close where the borrower was the authorized user. On all the credit was really the mother's, so we had to add the mom on the loan, so that way we can have the trade line requirement and then get the loan closed. So these options do help a lot. Where that loan would have been denied anywhere else, we were able to save the loan here. So those are nice tidbits that we do have here that everyone else doesn't. We also, when it comes to housing history, a lot of non-QM lenders deny these loans when the borrower can't prove that they've been paying housing for the last 12 months. One of the cool things we have here is
Good
we
point.
allow a rent-free borrower
Yeah, good
all the
point.
way to the max LTV of 90. So that's also unheard of. And the latest and greatest, we now allow a W-2 wage earner to go alongside with a bank statement borrower. So
Nice.
it's crazy what we have now on the table to help these type of clients.
So you have a couple, one person that's self-employed and the other person is W-2, just random wage earner. We can now use the combined
That's
income,
right.
right? Yeah, well, that's
Right.
unique. That's unique. A lot of lenders don't like to do that, so that's very unique from our perspective.
Absolutely. So I've been very excited because a couple of these things have come up with different scenarios. Sometimes the DTI could be tight, and so that helps. These options really do help get these borrowers in these homes and make the loan just go from looking like it's going nowhere to all of a sudden, these people are getting their keys and getting in that house. So
I love to see those pictures on those the Instagrams and all that stuff that with their key and all that, and we know that we had a big part in that. Uh,
yes.
it's personally satisfying. Hey, I know you told me yesterday. Again, I'm just learning a lot from you, from your experience here. That we allow 9% seller concessions on
Yes.
owner occupied.
Yeah.
I'm still
So
trying to
so
wrap my head around that.
it's pretty cool. So the LTV has to be 75%.
Okay.
75% or lower. We do allow up to 9% sellers concession. Anything above 75, it's 6% sellers concession. Now, on investment properties, is just 3% across the board.
Good.
But it is unique, that we do go up that high at that LTV.
Yeah.
Because most lenders just have 6% like across the board, and that's it.
Yeah, that's crazy. By the way, I gotta talk to the architect about the 6% for investment properties. So I want to make that a full guideline, like not exception anymore. Another thing that I find unique is that we don't require the broker to repull credit, right? We won't repull credit. I'm sorry,
Nope.
we won't repull credit, right? So we reissue credit, which a lot of my brokers really appreciate, right? I mean, that's helpful for the credit worthiness of the borrower and making
A-
sure that the score stays higher.
Absolutely, because how many times these LOs, they'll submit the loan to the lender pulls credit, and now the credit drops, and now the rate changes, and it's an uncomfortable situation. You got to call the borrower and tell me, oh, now your rate's much higher. The good thing about us here, you're right, we do not pull credit. We use the loan officer's credit. All they have to do is reissue the credit report, and that's the score we use. And on top of that, if you give us a loan and there's room and time to increase the FICO score, guess what? Even if you lock the loan with us, we will honor the new FICO score. Just give us the new
Wow.
tri-merge, and
I'm
we'll
not
honor the
I'm
new
not
FICO
used
score.
to that. I'm not used to that. I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's great. It's
that's
great. I've
great.
I've
Wow.
already done it a few times, and it's been amazing. But you got to have the time, because sometimes there's no time. If there's no time, then you can't get it done. But if you do,
Right.
amazing. You
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah, I can
it's
see
a
how that helps
different.
with like new construction or something that you may have a little bit of time to before the home is ready, and you're like, well, let's kind of work on that. Yeah, again, that when talking about that, and I'm learning how to, of course, tell my brokers that because I've taken it for granted in a way, So it's good to remind all our brokers that, hey, yeah, we get a lot of those. Hey, can we rescore? I get that question asked all the time, and I tell my brokers, absolutely not a problem. But again, we're moving these loans so fast, right, with our fast turn times that, you know, sometimes we're going a little too fast, I think, which is great, right? And by the way, I know you are the one that's been teaching me about the fast pass, right? For all our brokers, I'll let you take this because you're the expert on this. You're the one teaching me this. Tell us a little bit about that fast pass and how it's going to help our brokers so that I can learn and I can tell my brokers as well. I need to learn that
Absolutely.
myself.
So the fast pass is something Jackie and the team came up with to basically get your loan approved in 24 hours and get that loan closed as fast as 10 days. It's basically a list we have, and we're asking you for a fuller package. So you're not just going to give me a 1003 and a credit report. It's just a few more items that are needed. They're not a big deal. So we're not asking you to give us, an encyclopedia thick file, but it works for two programs, the DSCR and the bank statement program. And those two programs were able to fast track. Now it's great because if you're dealing with a builder, they're going to love that because we deliver. And we have a handful of people that take advantage of it. And it's just incredible. You get your approval in 24 hours. And with confidence, you could say that you see the results, go over the conditions. And in essence, because the package is fuller, the condition list is smaller. So this is the reason we're able also to move your file out faster. But it's incredible for those two programs, DSCR and bank statements. Definitely take advantage of that. I love selling that because that also sets us apart, from everyone else right now in the market. That we can almost, guarantee a closing and an approval that quick.
Yeah, that's really like mind blowing. I see that, and I see the speed that we're moving loans through. Our team, working through the weekend, catching up, getting in front of loans, and I'm getting, and especially I remind my brokers, hey, you may get your approval on the weekend. I don't know, here's the turn time, but don't be shocked if I text you or email you. Check your email, you have an approval. Go fire up your laptop. Because it's really we're ready to go. You know what I mean? So
yeah, the underwriters have been working on the weekends. Yes.
yeah, that's crazy. That's good. That's good. That's good for, I guess that's good for all of us. One more thing I remember us talking about the other day was for our loan officers that do some condos, that a lot of the condo business is non-warrantable, especially here in Florida, some California up in the Northeast, right? We're doing a lot of condos. And I think if I remember correctly, we price out our non-warrantable condos, which is pretty much everything's non-warrantable from what we see, right? What falls out of Fannie. We price that as a warrantable condo, right? Like there's no add-on. We give it the rate benefit, right?
Correct. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. There's no add-on for it being a non-warrantable at all. So you get the same rate. Absolutely.
And a higher LTV and all that stuff versus that's
all that stuff versus, of
Yeah,
course,
so
if something changes in the questionnaire, of course things will change. But one of the good things with us is you can actually send us the questionnaire if you have questions. We can get it reviewed for you up front. That way there are no surprises. But yeah, the pricing, unbelievable. And right now, as I'm sure, I don't know if people know, but our pricing right now is on fire.
yeah, I see those loan sifter emails that Jen sends out and our team and Nick, letting us know that hey, we're on top. You may want to reach out to your broker, and we're getting so many inbound calls, right? Like, hey, I get it all the time now. I'm like, hey, is this rate correct? And then I honestly, I stop. I'm like, oh, let me see. And I check and I recheck, and then I go to OB and I price it out. And I'm like, absolutely, Mr. Broker. Yeah, and we're ready. Not only that, we're ready. Once we're ready to approve the loan, to make Nick happy, right? What do we got to do? We're going to lock that loan, right? Register it and make sure you lock that loan quick, guarantee that rate, especially in this volatile rate environment. The Fed's going to speak. What are they going to do? And all this and then the other. Hey,
yeah,
let's move the file forward. Let's take that. I remember one of my old trainers back in the day said, you know what? So many loan officers spend so much time kind of worrying about floating a rate, to maybe save $100 or $300 or maybe make more premium or the cut. And during all that time, they're driving themselves crazy because you can never predict the market. You can't service your customer because you're just going crazy. And it's better to, and again, I'm going to thank the architect for that because, Nick always says, let's price it. Let's move forward. It helps us streamline the process. The customer knows nothing's going to change. They're ready for their payment. We can figure out DTI, ratio, payment. There's none of that guesswork to last minute. You know what I mean? So I can definitely see that. By the way, I know I'm supposed to ask Jennifer, are there any questions? I know him and I are just having a conversation here about anything, but anybody have any questions that they want us to address, we're happy to do so.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, just click the raise hand button on the bottom of the screen and I will unmute you.
And one of the questions I know yesterday we were talking about was, now that Jennifer's here, marketing. Um, a lot of our customers, especially if you're newer to the business, a lot of our LOs don't really know yet how to sell the product very well, or may have questions on, how do I market these programs? How do I find a bank statement loan customer, right? We know CPAs, and we have, there you go, on cue.
Yep.
And we have branded marketing material for each and every one of our brokers, which helps, I think, gives you that that certainty that you are talking correctly about the product, and you're branding yourself accordingly. You can co-brand, right, Jennifer? We can co-brand with a realtor.
Yep.
What else can you do there?
Absolutely.
Yep, just email your account executive the company logo, and we will change the coloring around and add your company logo to the co-branded material. And then you can go in, it will be sent to you by PDF, and then you can go in and add your headshot and your contact information and just spread it out.
Yep. This is a great
Nice.
way to get it out, guys. Absolutely. If you want to help grow the non-QM business, this is a great way. You're actually looking at these are like live materials that we've done. These are our brokers that you
That's
see
you right
here.
there, more lending, yeah. And
Yep.
mine's Florida Home Finance. So my buddy Jose. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So there's no secret, but this is the way. You got to get involved, guys. We do this is zero cost to you guys. We help you get this out there for you guys, and we help you get the business in. We help you get the business closed and funded. All you got to do is call me or Calito. That's it. It's that easy.
I say, how easy is that? Artie, question. I know we have the obviously we have full suite of non-QM programs, right? We do DSCR, obviously the bank statements. We have the foreign national program for you customers that have foreign national customers. That we have very, very limited country restrictions. And one of our countries we always get inquiries on is Venezuela. Can we do Venezuela? Can we do Argentina? And the answer is yes, and up to 75%, right? That's pretty
correct.
cool. Yeah, I'm not
That's
used to
correct.
that. So that's
Yeah. We what's cool about us is that we have no country restrictions. We do a background check on the bar. As long as the bar clears it, he's not a criminal or anything of any kind, we can do the loan pretty much with the foreign national. It's pretty easy peasy. We do it as a DSCR loan, so we just ask for a 1-to-1 ratio. Basically, the property cash flows itself. We ask for the reserves. We look into the funds 60 days that they're in a banking institution, and then they could just bring it on over here for the closing. But yeah, it's and the pricing's also, it's very fair for someone that has no credit, we ask for no income, no employment information. So it's basically right off of cash flow.
We do have a question from Maria, so I'm going to unmute her. Okay, Maria, you are unmuted. So you can ask your question. I think it's about foreign nationals.
I know Maria. I'll call her on her cell phone right now if you want.
Is that Maria Contreras?
No, oh, you know what? I'm disappointed that she's not on. I don't know if she's on, but yeah. No, it's another Maria, Maria Pirela, down from one of my superstar offices down in Miami. Maria,
Awesome.
Maria, you are
Yeah, you're gonna have to
unmuted, but we
unmute
can't
yourself,
hear
Maria.
you. Yep.
Yeah,
Are they able to type their question too if they don't want to speak? Or
You just typed in foreign nationals question. So maybe she just wants to hear more about our foreign national product.
Yeah, I'll take this one. Foreign nationals is something we do very well. We do it as a DSCR, right, Artie? So we don't require credit, domestic or foreign. We don't require housing history to be disclosed. No employment. So a lot of the foreign nationals questions we get is, what about the letter? What about the income letter? What about the CPA letter up in, from Colombia, from Argentina? Do I need to translate the letter? Do I need to give you a bank reference? And none of that. So I love to call it kind of our fast and easy program. It's a DSCR as long as my rent covers my mortgage payment, right? I'm 1-to-1 on DSCR. Let's go. No questions asked. It's bring the money to the States, right? 30 days before closing. And we go straight to closing your loan transaction. So I love it. I think it's one of the smoothest process you'll ever see. And Maria, I don't know if that answers your question, but I will call you after the meeting and we will talk. Artie, anything you want to add to that on the foreign national with your experience when you've seen?
No, that's basically it. We're making sure that we source and season the funds, that we're in a banking institution. As long as we could source and season them, even if they bring them here. The only thing always to remember is that if a document's not in English, it has to be translated by a licensed translator. We could recommend a company that we use. They're very fast, 24-hour turn times. But yeah, that's basically it. You hit everything else. Absolutely.
What are we missing, Artie? What else do we want to talk about for our
Um,
first installment of
well,
of our podcast webinar type of series?
I
Loan Lab.
think we should not let this podcast end without us mentioning our DSCR program. Right now, DSCR program, the pricing's phenomenal. We go up to 80 LTV, even up to a multi-unit of 4 units. So that's pretty sick.
Strong.
Most lenders, reduce the LTV by 5% whenever you have an extra unit on the property. Biggest thing is we allow gift funds, but
Yes.
only
Talk about that.
5% of the sales price has to be the borrower's funds, and the 6 months pity reserves for the subject property. Everything else can be a gift. So that's pretty huge, pretty aggressive.
Say that again, brother. Say that again. Say that again. 5% only, huh? That's it. That's all that they need to come in with.
5% of the
Wow.
sales price and 6 months pity reserves has to be the borrower's. Everything else can be a gift.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
it's been yeah. So it's pretty aggressive. I love it. Depending where you are in the multi-unit, it could be northeast, like you said. But it's incredible that we go that high in LTV.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
it's been definitely a game changer for different areas, different markets. But overall, the pricing, people are like, wow. So it helps because everything's more expensive nowadays. So
Yep.
the fact that we have good rates to make these deals work and get them done, it's been incredible. But yeah, our DSCR, I would say that's probably our second busiest, right? Even with
Yeah.
you, right? Would you say that's your second biggest,
Most popular program for sure.
program
Yeah.
that keeps you
For
busy?
sure.
Yeah, the DSCR.
And I
Absolutely.
tell my loan officers when we do presentations that a lot of the agents ask us about that as well. It's like, hey, can a real estate agent use it? Absolutely. There's no limitations. And it's funny because a real estate agent is kind of the first one that knows about a listing and a property coming onto the market. So they're like, well, instead of listing it, maybe I can offer my customer to buy it. I can buy it from them and I'll do a DSCR. I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense. Have at it. And we could do multiple of these loans. I think up to 8 loans, I think max for one customer at a time. I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
intense. That's pretty
It
aggressive.
is pretty intense, pretty intensive. And sometimes we help customers, refinance cash out money with these loans to buy more properties.
Good point. Yeah.
So it's also a good way, to help these guys invest more money into these properties that pay themselves. We love it. It's a great program. I remember when this program first came out. People told me also that we're probably gonna end up in jail
Oh,
because
yes.
because no income, no employment. They're
I
like, "What are
got
you
that.
talking about, Artie?" I'm like, "No, I'm serious. This is a cash flow program." And now forget about it. Everybody knows about the program. But do you remember when this thing first came out? People were looking at me like,
Yeah.
"Gotta be kidding me." You
I
mean
think
state?
the more seasoned loan officers, like, and I would always remind them that banks have been doing DSCR loans for many years, right? But it's basically more on the commercial side. They look at more things, banking relationship, assets with the bank. So I think for my loan officers, it's letting them know that, again, where do I find some of this DSCR loans? Where do I find these 5 to 10 units? I think it's such a great opportunity with your colleagues that work for those major banks, those retail banks, that right now the CRE portfolio is a little tight for them, because a lot of these loans are coming to refinance and they're trying to save a little cash. So I think a lot of these lenders are pushing these customers, turning them down, and they're great borrowers, like you said. And we treat this loan as a DSCR, those 5 to 10s,
Right.
like we treat it like a residential loan, not a commercial loan with all these other extra layers, right? So I would tell my loan officers, go talk to your friends who are in the business. And the cool thing is they can refer you that loan, close it, you keep that customer happy, and they don't have to fear, right, that you're going to try to bring their business over. Because a lot of my friends that are business bankers, they're like, they don't want to refer a deal to the competition because then the competition will say, well, hey, I know you have a big landscaping business. Why do you have your bank over there? Why are you banking with those guys? They're turning you down. What else are they not doing for you? Come over here. So we don't do that, and neither will the broker. So I think my loan officers, if you approached it that way with your commercial lender, friends, colleagues, and when you do events like that, target those. That's like a target-rich environment when you have those like trade shows and banker events. Because I know, like I said, they're just trying to keep that customer from going across the street, right?
Right.
But at the same time, you're kind of doing them a disservice by
Right.
not helping them, with their loan. So what do I'm sure you've seen that as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's great, because a lot of these guys these are savvy investors we're talking about. So some of them definitely understand, and then you have also the people that are doing it for the first time, that they see the opportunity, to make a good cash flow on a property. So
Because
it's
we allow
interesting.
first-time investors, right?
Yeah, yeah. If you, as long as you own a property for 12 months, it doesn't have to be a primary residence. You can be somebody renting, but you own an investment property. So as long as you have the 12 months mortgage history, we do allow first timers to come into this program. What you can't be is you can't be a first time home buyer.
There's a
That's what you
difference there.
can't be. Yeah. But you could definitely be, if you're someone that, doesn't own a primary, but you've owned an investment property, currently own one for 12 months with a 12-month history, that's all we need. And then we'll look at your credit score. If you have a 680 and the DSCR comes in at 1, basically that the property cash flows itself, you can use the program.
Hey, one more
Absolutely.
thing, Artie, before I forget. And I know I've heard about this and I've seen it. We have it in our pricing engine. Um, and it's like it's like I'm interviewing you here, but you're the one that taught me this one, the LMI, right? Can you talk a little bit about that to our loan officers, what it means and the benefits and the advantages and all that?
Absolutely. So the LMI is a great program. We rolled it out last year. Uh, our CEO, David, actually announced it at the NAMBA event here in Orlando,
We'll be there
which was
soon. We'll
great.
be there, yeah, soon.
Yeah, and it's coming up again. The LMI is great because it's a low to moderate income. If the home is located in a low to moderate income for owner occupancy, we are actually giving you discounts in rates. So it's great because it's something we just check on the Census Bureau. We click on the Census Bureau, you type in the address of the property, and it gives you the yes or the no. It's that
Yeah,
simple. If it says yes, then in addition to our great rates, you get an additional discount. So the
I just
discount
had a
could be
customer
up to a
ask
quarter.
me. Yeah, it's a quarter, right? Or an eighth.
Yep.
I mean, I had a customer ask me that. They don't even have to know our lock desk team actually takes care of that. And
Correct.
it's kind of a great kind of like a email to say, hey, by the way, you qualify for this great benefit that makes my broker look like a rock star because they're looking out for the customer and like passing the savings on
Yes.
to them. That's great.
Absolutely, it's been exciting. We're coming up in a year now of rolling that program out, and it's been awesome. Like I said, it's for owner occupied properties, and it's real simple. We do the work for you guys, and even if me and Carlito miss it, like Carlito said, the lock desk will catch it, and we can surprise you always with a good phone call saying, "Hey, guess what? The rate is a little better."
That's a good conversation. Hey, what about reserves on DSCR? How
So
many months are
reserve,
those
so
for the
6 months
reserves?
reserve, 6 months reserves, but just for the subject property.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
I should have led with that because we get asked all the time. Hey, my customer has 5 investment properties. Do I have to do 6 months per property? No, it's only on the subject property. That's kind of I should have asked it that way because it's a great benefit. I know a lot of customers say, you know, I'm working with another investor for whatever reason, but they're asking for 60 months of reserves when you total all the other investment properties, and there's no way that this will
Right.
qualify. So that's a
That's
that's a
correct.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
is
a
cool. It's very cool because some of the lenders make you get reserves, 2 months for every other property plus 6 months for the subject. So all of a sudden the money starts dwindling, and then we're short to close. So this is a great way, to get these deals done. We only worry about the reserves in the subject property.
yeah.
Yeah,
What are we missing, Artie? Our first kickoff event. How's it going so far? What do you think? We're doing good. You think
yeah,
we're gonna get good feedback from the guys that are watching, the
absolutely,
gals? Yeah.
absolutely. I can't
What do you
wait for
think?
the feedback. And you know what? Each one we'll do will get better and better. This is our
Yeah.
first one. Speaking of reserves on also primary residence, if the borrowers own a home in the last 5 years, we no longer require 6. It's just 3 months.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So
true. Wow.
yeah,
Forgot
so
about
that's
that.
pretty strong. If they're a first time home buyer, then yes, 6 months. But on our bank statement program, which we discussed, You know, a lot of people always ask, hey, what about bank statements? So that's the difference. If your borrower has owned the home in the last 5 years, only 3 months.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If
You
not,
know,
it
we
is
gotta
6 months.
do. I want to do maybe for the next event. What do you think about doing maybe reaching out to our brokers and I know with a little more time, kind of like obviously what do they want to talk about, right? Tips and tricks. I know we talked about um for our next webinar, our next podcast webinar. It's like tips and tricks on kind of how to get the loan through. I know we've talked about how to best um, process the file in the front end, and how do we move it through underwriting faster. What do you think about that? You think we should do something like that? I mean, I guess
Yeah,
they'll tell our brokers will tell us, right, what they want to hear. But what do you think about that?
absolutely. You know, maybe we can show the portal, show how simple the steps are. You know, since we did talk about bank statements today. In case people are wondering, one of the simplest ways to get the income calculated is just emailing us the bank statements. We have a team that calculates the income for you guys. So for those LOs who've never done a bank statement loan before, that's how simple it is. You send us the bank statements, the most current 12 or 24 months. We calculate the income for you. And then from there, we structure the rest of the loan. And, you know, we get the pricing going for you guys. We know if the DTI works and we get things going, you know. So I just want to make sure I mentioned that because we did talk about the bank statement part, but
Great point.
we kind of left out, you know, how we calculate the income because a lot of LOs, they think they got to do the math, you know, or they'll make the poor processor do it, you know. So leave it up to us, guys.
You
We
got
have
it.
a whole team. Yep.
We'll take
Help you
care of
guys.
it. We got the team to take care of all that. And yeah, like I said, once we have that income calculated, and I'll encourage all my loan officers and Maria, if you're listening, she's great at that. Just here's a scenario, here's what we got. Once we look at that income, I mean, we're ready to go, right? We disclosures get in the queue, it goes into underwriting. And by the way, one thing that I forgot to say, I was gonna say, once our underwriter issues an approval, um, there isn't a second investor in the back that is making a decision on the loan. Like I call typically the ghost underwriter or the MI underwriter. Like my conventional folks know that your underwriter underwrites it. Then if you need MI, you got to send it to the second underwriter who may add, usually does, additional conditions just when you thought you were right there clear to close and about, you're closing tomorrow. Oh, no, you're not. You got a whole list of, we don't have that.
No,
We're the final say on the loan, which gives you that security and that peace of mind. Once you have the loan commitment, Mr. Mrs. Broker, you fill this up, you complete these conditions and satisfy them, and we're done. There's
we're
there's
done.
no one else, right? That's
That's right. Yep. My favorite emails are the CTC emails, you know, when they come out. And
yeah,
from there, we
yeah.
just go to docs.
And then especially when Nick texts about, sends a text on our group chat, CTC. I like that. I like to see those. I like to
Yes,
see those.
yes, I do. I like to see how fast, you know, all of us AEs work. You know, there's a handful of us that get these deals done very quickly. You know, you just did one very quickly. You know, and so it's great to see the team. You know, like you said, we don't have anyone else to depend on. Everything's done in house.
Right. And also, and I it's kind of bragging, but it's not bragging. Our team is awesome, and our team has been specifically handpicked with I don't know how many years of mortgage experience from different industries, from the processing, from underwriting, from retail, from wholesale, from secondary market. I mean, man, we honestly like we've picked not we the architect, right? And starting with David, you know, just selected a handful of rock stars in their
Yes,
field, to provide just that really like luxury service. To the name means just in that more than that. It's like we really we are experienced. We want you to trust us with your business and your relationships, right? And
absolutely.
like you've been in the business forever, and you've been a monster producer for many years. And that's what all our team is. Everybody from the back office, they know what they're doing. They go above and beyond. And I hope that, a lot of our loan officers that are listening, eventually, once we start working together, if we haven't yet, uh, get to see that because there is a difference. I know of
Yes,
so many companies out there, Artie, and I won't name them, that it's like, oh God, if I send such and such person a deal, it's just going into some, abyss, and they don't, the AE doesn't return calls. I know you're returning calls, at 9, 10 o'clock at night. And so am I texting, different time zones. And it's like, I haven't heard from my AE in 2 days. And that's kind of shocking, right? So I'm like, I'm really happy, which is one of my whys personally as to why I came over to luxury, and I was happy to have been given this opportunity to join this team, and thanks to you, of course, and the support team, and like I said, we're like a secret that is no longer a secret, and our job is to just let everybody know, kind
That's
of what we
right.
have here, the best kept secret that is a secret no longer. So I think that's
That's
my
right.
job for the next.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I often like to refer to our team as the dream team
there you go.
because of exactly what you said. You remember the dream team, the basketball team that got together for the Olympics? They picked like
Absolutely.
all the best guys.
90, it was at 92. That wasn't even I don't know
Yep.
if there are any Nick players there for Nick Farina, who loves the Knicks. Sorry, like if there are any, don't like
But yeah,
those
that's
Knicks.
how I like to refer to to our team. I like to refer to as the dream team because it's true what you just said. I feel the same way. I feel like everyone in our team, we're the best of the best of what we do, and we hold ourselves to a good high value, and we provide that urgency of customer service.
Yep.
And that's the way I know you run your business. I know I run my business the same way. And we want to make sure that everybody feels the same way, that when they give us a loan, they know that we care about that loan, that we're going to get it done from beginning to end.
Well, I think I'm getting curtain calls, right, from the back office saying, "All right, guys, time to go." And we want to be respectful of everybody's time. I know we're busy. We got end of month, right? Everybody's got to do the thing, got
Right.
to close loans, got 1,000 emails and phone calls to answer from this 45 minutes that you've been gracing us with your time. Thank you for that. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for putting up with us for the last 45 minutes. And
Yes,
we're gonna do some fun stuff in the future, right? A lot of good stuff,
absolutely.
live stuff, and just real stuff, everyday stuff that we can provide you with content, with like I said, tips and tricks, and what really is happening in this market. So that's my goodbye speech. And Artie, you take it away, buddy. How do you close us
Yes.
out?
Yep. I hope everybody got to, learn a little bit more about non-QM today. I hope you guys, saw some value in it and ways that it can help your business. And like I said, give us a shout, give us a call, give us an email. Let us help you jumpstart your non-QM business. This way we can help more borrowers, put them in homes. That's what we're here for. So I hope everybody, had a little takeaway today. Thank you for joining us.